All right, welcome everyone to our second live session of week 2 for DES 242 Logo and Identity Design. I am Shinda McNamara, your graphic arts instructor. So we have a bit on our agenda today. I'll go over some announcements. I want to talk about brand identity and logo as well as psychology of color. I also want to finish up our critique from last night and do a demo of assignment 2, just setting it up at least. So I kind of have I have a lot on my plate this evening. I think what I might do is start, I know that, we kind of left off in the middle of the critique, but I think what I want to do is start out with the demo of assignment 2 and then move on to the critique, and then we'll talk about brand identity and logo and psychology of color, because in case if I don't get to these 2 items, you can read over my slides because I always post my slides in the announcements. So it's really not the end of the world. So that's my thought process for tonight. And the reason why I'm going to go right into the demo of assignment 2 is I'm going to wait and see if anybody comes to the session live tonight so they can help me with the critique. I always like to get, some students volunteering their opinions when we do these critiques. So hopefully I'll get a couple of people, and if not, that's all right too. All right, so a reminder on my telephone hours, they are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Mountain Time to 4 p.m. Mountain Time, and you can always email me. Just note that I am located in Eastern Standard Time Zone, and just be aware of the time zone change when you're trying to reach me. Reminder about due dates. All assignments and assessments are due by Saturday at midnight for full credit, and make sure that you are communicating regarding any late work. That'll save you those missed points. Your original discussion question is due on Wednesday, and you also need to respond to at least 2 of your fellow students and by Saturday at midnight, and late discussion posts will not be accepted past the Saturday midnight deadline because we've all moved on to the next week. All right, so let's hop over to the course. I had a couple of interesting announcements today, and I don't know if anybody was able to attend, but there were a couple of really cool live Behance things going on today. So it showed up in my my Creative Cloud, but it ended up they did record it, which is great, and also there's one happening live right now. So if you look at the schedule, what they had today was they had live illustration, and it was a live illustration demo by an illustrator, and it was just him working, which was really cool. So they have another one, which is live illustration and digital painting with Sophie Dio. Tomorrow it looks like they have a couple. This is the person who I had posted, Roman Murdov. He's doing his second live session. And it's literally just a GoPro camera pointed at him while he's illustrating, and then you can also see his screen at the same time. And there's a person from Adobe who monitors the chat and answers everyone's questions. So I thought it was kind of cool. And it seems as though there's, it was 1 out of 3 today, so 2 out of 3 tomorrow, and 3 out of 3 on Thursday. I've never seen these Behance live things before, and it looks as though there's only things scheduled through Thursday, but I don't know. If you like watching people work and seeing how it is that they do stuff, I think it would be definitely worth it to watch. I mean, he's definitely very advanced in Illustrator. I was watching him do stuff, and he was using some tools that I just don't normally use, and so I thought it was pretty cool. And yeah, it seems like there will be 3 illustrators tomorrow as well, and then 3 illustrators on Thursday. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Oh, 4 illustrators each day. So if you get a chance, you know, definitely stop by and check it out. It's under the Now Playing, and you can always check, I guess, the schedule. So this seems to be something new. It popped up and it was like, hey, you know, Adobe is live right now. And I was like, that seems pretty cool. I wish I had known ahead of time. I would have let you guys know before, hey, this is happening right now. So the just a basic link is right here, which just brings you into the live area. And I think that was all I had for announcements. So let me pop back over here. Okay, again, our live sessions are Mondays and Tuesdays from 4 to 6 p.m. Mountain Time. This gives you ample time during the week to get those assignments done. If you do need any outside help, the Student Success Center is open with tutoring available, and there is no appointment necessary. All right, so before we get into that, let's take a look again at our assignment for this week. And remember, the assessment is a quiz, and it's not timed. So you can take as much time as you need to take that quiz. If you get stumped on a question, stop yourself. Don't close out the quiz, but just kind of stop yourself, go back into the readings, you know, go back into the modules tab, look up what the answer might be. You know, you can definitely take the time to look things up to make sure you get 100 on that quiz. And it's auto-graded. I do not grade the quiz. All right, so again, what we are doing for our assignment this week, it seems like a lot, but there's not a lot going on. Once we kind of, you know, get the first version down, it'll move pretty quickly. So what I like to do with assignments like this is I like to copy what it is that I need to do into, you know, a text document, and kind of check off each item as I go. So that's what I'm going to do right now. All right, so let me see if I can do a ordered list. All right, so I am going to need, let me make my font a little bit bigger so everybody can see what's going on here. I am going to need my logo in black and white, which I said it's different than my logo in grayscale. These are two different things. I need my logo in CMYK with the color swatches labeled or shown as a key. And I need my logo in RGB with the color swatches labeled or shown as a key. I need a color logo in the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, and 6 inch. And you may think to yourself, well, is it 1 inch high or wide? It's 1 inch high. So I'm going to put that so I remember. And then a black and white logo shown in the following sizes. My logo in black and white shown on a dark background. A note, this does not mean black. 50% gray will work for this. And logo in color shown on a dark background. So again, does not mean black, you know, 50% gray will work for this. So I'm going to refine my best logo direction. I'm going to add color elements that will work with the initial client's color requests and logo keyword in those keywords. So you're going to need to go back into your assignment for this week and read up those doc files that came with each of your logos. So let me go into week 1. Where did I download that? There it is. Okay. So let's say that you did Metropolitan Art Gallery. So color requests, they're fairly open on color, but they would like the overall color scheme to be bright, vibrant, and generally active and energetic. So you wouldn't use browns, blacks, and dark greens. You would, you would want some bright colors. For number 2, Kale and Carter's, they would like the overall color scheme to be very hard rock and give off a cool vibe. Thus, they would like to avoid all pastel or light colors, but are very open to neon. Now, remember when you say that, RGB green, which is that neon green, is not going to work in CMYK. So that's why you need to provide those color swatches. Logo 3. Free financial partners. I don't think anybody did that one. So we'll just skip over that one. Logo 4 is Central Park Software. They would like the overall color scheme to feel streamlined and minimal. So think Apple, emphasizing bright digital colors, clean lines, and grays and silvers. Think of the older Apple logo color. And logo 5 is that Break a Day Cafe. A couple of people had this one. They would like the overall color scheme to feel rustic and woodsy and fitting with the overall rugged surroundings of their mountain location. Colors should feel natural and grounded, yet not be so muted that they don't stand out and attract attention. So they're very particular. Hold on one second. I do apologize. All right, sorry about that. And so that's those. And obviously I did a different logo for last week. I did the Martha's Vineyard one. So I am going to kind of make up my own color requirements, basically. I'm going to say that my client wants a beach theme that is very coastal and reminds people that they are a summer destination. So that's my theme. And I have my refined logo. This is my refined logo that I'm going to be using. So this is black and white. This is my black and white version of it, which is different than what my grayscale version will look like. And I am going to come up with my color scheme by using Adobe Color. So let me go open up a new tab, and it's color.adobe.com. And I believe I have given you this website in an announcement. Let me double check. There should be an announcement that says useful links, and it should be in there from last week. Yes, here it is, right in that useful links, color.adobe.com. So I will say this, make sure that you are logged in, and I probably have said this before, but make sure that you are logged in with the same login that you use for your creative suite. Because if you aren't, your color schemes are not going to populate in Illustrator or in InDesign. So you want to make sure that you are logged in. If you are like me and you have two different logins, I have one for my Behance and I have one for my Creative Suite, you can accidentally log in with the wrong one, and then it won't populate your color scheme. So kind of a pain in the butt, but if you only have one, then you won't run into this problem. I have two logins. So, if you're somebody like me who has two logins, just, be careful that you're logged in with the correct one. And if you aren't sure, you can click on your face and it will show your email address. My logins are two different email addresses. All right, so if I want a beach theme, I can either, start to drag out the different circles in Adobe Color and make my own color scheme here, you know, I can use the slider. I can kind of move these around. You know, there's a couple of different options that I can do to you know, to really get this color scheme down. Another thing that I can do is I can upload a photo and I can grab some colors from a photo, or I can explore. I can go to explore and type in beach and see what other people have made. So this is a pretty cool one. So I'm gonna save this beach and I'm gonna make a new folder. I'm gonna name it DES242 and I'll click save and save that one. And I'll go back to explore, type in beach again. And you'll notice that the same color scheme comes up like 8 million times. It's because so many different people have like saved it on their end and Adobe hasn't fixed that apparently. So you might have to kind of scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll. I'm not a fan of that yellow in that one. This one could be cool. I'll save that, the beach combo. Okay, that works. And then let's see if anything comes up for Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, here we go. And I'll save that one. So I've got a couple of different color schemes. You know, all kind of on the same wavelength in a way. You know, they kind of have the same feel to them. But, you know, I just want to really see what is going to work. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm going to navigate myself over to week 2 and make a folder called assignment. And I'm going to name this one black and white. Then I'm going to do a file, save as, and I'm going to name it CMYK. And I will colorize this one. And you may be wondering, why didn't I make a grayscale one first? Because I'm going to base my grayscale off of my CMYK. So I'm leaving the black and white one as is, you know, and if your version has different shades of gray, you need to decide what is 100% black and what is going to be white in that logo, because it can only be black and white. So need to take a hard look at that logo and figure out, you know, and if it won't work black and white, it needs to be simplified. So that's how you can tell. All right, so let me open up my Creative Cloud library. Leave it under libraries. There we go. And navigate over to my DES242 color scheme. So I have my Martha's Vineyard, my beach combo, and my beach. I got a good sandy color here, and then I've got a really good crystal clear wave. So let's see. Let's see what ends up working. And I'm gonna try these in brown real quick. Well, that's not a real brown. That's kind of tan. Maybe this dark blue. This Oh, all right. There we go. Get some extra lines there. Nope. Oh, where's my Pathfinder tool? I gotta fix that path. All right, there we go. So if you find that there's actual white instead of it being clear, you need to use the Pathfinder tool, and it's a little bit weird each one. Yes, you'll need to change the logo. Sorry, I just saw in the chat your question. You will have to change the logo to CMYK and then to RGB from there. Yes. Yep. And you want to make sure it works at RGB, because some colors don't work well. They really don't translate well between CMYK and RGB. So you definitely want to be aware when you're picking those colors that the color difference is subtle. Oh, I'll show you. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll show you. So what I was saying is, let's say that you have a shape and then you have another shape on top of it. Whoops. Which is kind of showing up white, but it's really supposed to be like clear. Like if I put something behind this, you want this to be clear. Like you want this to be cut out. What you need to do is you need to use the Pathfinder tool. So if it's grouped, you're going to need to ungroup it, and you'll need to have both of the shapes selected. And you're going to want to go to the second option, which I don't remember what it's called. It used to tell you what it was called when you hovered over them, and click, and it'll delete out that shape. So that's how you can make it clear, so that way you can see the color comes through from behind. And if it doesn't seem to be working, sometimes you can use the one that cuts them each option into a different path. So you can use this one and then just delete, and that'll work, but you'll actually have to go in and manually delete it. I've had to do it both ways in the past, so you'll just want to kind of figure it out. You might have to do a little bit of trial and error, basically. So I kind of like these two colors together, so I'm going to leave these two colors together. I think that these are good colors. So I'm going to save this as my CMYK version, just for kind of time sake. That's why. I don't want to spend all night picking colors. So this is my CMYK version. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a file, save as, name it RGB. Okay, and I'll make an RGB version, and I'm going to go into Edit colors. Whoops, make sure you have it selected. Edit colors, and you're going to want to convert to CMYK. It's not giving me that option. Oh, I know why. I need to go to color settings first, I believe. Or I'm going to need to change my artboard. Hold on. Document color mode. There it is. So go first to File, Document color mode, change it to RGB color, because we had it set up for print, so we had it set up at CMYK. Then you're going to go to Edit colors, convert to RGB, and keep an eye on what it does, what these two colors do when you convert them. If they change a lot, you're going to need to pick two different colors. And I didn't even notice a difference on that one. So that's good. All right. Next, what we're going to do is, and save this, then we're going to do a File, save as, grayscale, hit OK, select everything and go up to edit, edit colors, convert to grayscale. And this is where you can see it's different than my CMYK, than my black and white version. And also make sure your document color mode is back at CMYK for this. Notice it lightened it up just a little bit. And if you're not 100% happy with the grayscale colors, like let's say that you like this gray, but you would rather the word vineyard be darker, it's okay to edit it. You know, make sure that you're thinking of the grayscale version as its own version. You know, like the grayscale is its own color in a way. Select same fill color. And I don't want it to be like 100% black, but maybe just a smidge darker. There, that stands out a little bit better. And then save it. And let's double check our list. So I have my logo in black and white. I have my logo in grayscale. I have my logo in CMYK. I have my logo in RGB. I haven't done my color swatches yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an easier way to do the color swatches, because you need to have the logo at 1, 3, and 6 inches. So you don't want to put the color swatches right with your logo, because when you scale it down, it's going to scale those color swatches down. So we're going to find a better way to do this. I'm going to close this out. And I'm going to open up my RGB version. And I'm going to do a new document that is just 3 by 3, we'll say. And only one artboard. I don't need 3 artboards. All right. And I'm going to copy my logo over here, just so I'm sure I have my colors correct. I'm going to draw a box, a nice squared off rectangle, and I'm going to do 1 color block, 2 color blocks, and just delete out my logo. Whoops. And I'll make sure that they're nice and lined up. You know, they shouldn't be like this. Making sure everything's nice and lined up. My alignment tool, here it is. And I'll just make these a little bit bigger. And I'm going to do a file. Oh, this is CMYK. So I need to go File, Document Color Mode, RGB, and make sure that these are RGB. There we go. I'm going to do File, Save As. I'm going to call these RGB color blocks. Okay. I'm going to close up my RGB version. Then I'm going to do a File, Save As, and I'm going to name it CMYK color blocks. I'll hit OK. And I'm going to say edit, or whoops, file, color mode, CMYK. And just to make sure I have it correct, I'm going to select both of these, go to edit, convert to CMYK. But I'm just going to select from my color library and just make sure that I color drop it. Double click and it's CMYK. All right. And save. So I got my 2 color blocks. So I can place everything as images basically in InDesign when I put this together. So color logo shown in the following sizes, black and white, logo in black and white on black. All right. So I need to have 10 pages set up. So I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, 5, 6, 7, 8. The original logo All right, so let me figure out the 10 pages here. So we've done this. So we've refined our best logo. We've added color elements. We've not created a set of logo sheets yet that has the following elements. So we need to have a title bar, original logo, logo in black and white, logo in grayscale, color swatches in CMYK, logo in RGB, black and white logo shown in the following sizes, color logo shown in the following sizes, black and white logo shown on dark background, color logo shown on a dark background. So that is one page. Let me mark these. Page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5, page 6, page 7, page 8, page 9. I feel like we're missing a page. It should be 10 pages in length. And this says color swatches in CMYK. This is supposed to be color logo. So see how it says logo in RGB with color swatches? This is supposed to be logo in CMYK with color swatches. So you'll need to fix that. That appears to be a typo. I'm still trying to figure out that 10th page. Master page. All elements of your logo. The only thing I can think is, add the color elements with the initial client's color requests and keywords. Okay, all right. So page 1 is going to show the original logo. Page 2 will be the color requests and keywords. So you need to refer back. You need to refer back to that document that came with your submission. Page 3 will be the logo in black and white. Page 4 will be the logo in grayscale. Page 5 will be the logo in CMYK. Page 6 will be the logo in RGB. Page 7 will be the black and white logo shown in the following sizes. Page 8 will be a color logo shown in the following sizes. Page 9 will be the black and white logo shown on a dark background. And page 10 will be the color logo shown on a dark background. Whew. All right. So I am going to copy these items and put it in a new document because that got a little bit confusing for a second there. All right. So that way we can go off of that. I knew I was misreading something. So those are your 10 pages. And I'll show you how we're going to set those up. All right. You're going to need to create all of the elements of your logo in Illustrator, and then you're going to need to use InDesign. I can post this. I'm going to post it as an announcement, so it will show up in your email. Yeah, because that got a little bit confusing. So we're going to create all the elements of our logo in Illustrator, which we've been doing, and then we're going to use InDesign to create these logo sheets. And we're going to use master pages to ensure that everything is nice and consistent. And then we're going to use a grid when laying out these elements to ensure consistent navigation through each page. And my submission, now that we have figured this out, will be 10 pages in length. All right, so these are your 10 pages. And font a little bit bigger so I can see what I'm doing again, and I'm gonna label these back. Whoops. Label these so we can check them off as we go. All right. So let's go back into the assignment real quick. And it doesn't give you an InDesign size. So what we're going to do is we're going to work off of a letter size. Um, that's that's basically the size that you would make this is in a letter. So let's go over into InDesign. Hopefully InDesign hasn't changed too much since I updated it last week. I haven't gotten a chance to whatchamacallit, to get in here yet since it's updated. So I hope that there isn't anything crazy going on. I will say this though, when I go into Photoshop, it's just a blank screen and I expect something else to be there now, and it's a little bit weird. It's a little bit weird, not gonna lie. All right, so I need a 10-page document. I'm going to uncheck facing pages because I find that really difficult to work with when it sets it up as a spread, and this doesn't need to be a spread. So I'm gonna uncheck the facing pages. You don't need a bleed per se, but I'm going to put in a bleed because I just want to design it that way. My title bar. So I'm going to put in a bleed. And that looks good. So there we go. I'm going to pull up my pages first. Where are my pages? Here we go. Drag that bad boy out. I'm going to go over into my master pages. Remember, double click to get into your master. And make sure that you're only designing what is going on each page in your master page. You're not designing all of your document in your master page because it'll show up on all the pages. All right, so I need to have a title bar with my name and my client's name. So I want to pull up my CC library and get these colors into my swatches. So in InDesign, if you right click, you can add theme to your swatches. That's the easiest way to deal with these. Click add theme to swatches. However, it will add them as RGB swatches. So you're gonna need to fix that. And the easiest way to fix it is to open all three of the well, I have 3 folders. Open all of the folders up if you have multiple folders, or just open up all the swatches. Select them all and hit and right click and go to swatch options. And just change it to CMYK and make sure it's on process. And you'll see it changes the icon, it changes them all to CMYK. A couple of versions ago, you could just hit enter on the swatch and it used to bring up the options, and that doesn't work anymore. So it's kind of, you can double click, but it used to work with enter, which was great. It doesn't work anymore. And every single time I'm like, and hit enter. And then it's like, yeah, that doesn't work. So womp womp. All right. So I am going to, let me think of how I want to do this. I like the idea of opening up that wave I made. I'm going to copy this wave into InDesign. It's just gonna, that's great. These new things are annoying. Let me get a color so I can see what's going on. I'm gonna kind of just put this down here, the bottom. And maybe just fill it in. Maybe like that. we go. And I'm going to send this to the back, and I'm going to actually make this a gradient for my swatches. Pull those out. And drop that there. Oops, -90. Maybe bring it down just a little. So that's going to be my bottom. Just a little bit of a graphic there. You know, something fun. And here, I'm going to design my title area. I don't know why it keeps, oh, I had that selected. I'm like, I don't know why it keeps defaulting to that color. And trying to think how low I want it to go. We drop a rule at 2 inches. I want to keep it in right in here in the 2 inches. Check my margins. Yeah, I was gonna say my margins are really weird. Change it to a 1/2 inch. There we go. And pick a font for my name. Just kind of designing my top area. Want something light. A little bit lighter than I have. What am I thinking of? Sometimes it's almost like when you have too many options, you're like, oh. There we go. Something extra light. So design my name a little. And my client, so I need to put my client's name. Where's that? So add the color elements, create a logo, title bar with your name and your client's name. So I'm going to put my client's name over here. I'm going to use the same font, but to just a bolder version of it. Line everything up. Probably make my name a little bit bigger, a little bit smaller, because it's not about me. It's definitely about my client. So I want to keep it and guides. I'll check it out. So that looks nice. I think I might run a little rule or a little line underneath. And I'll call this a day. Not that thick, but. There we go. Put that right at the 2-inch mark. All right, so that looks good. I think that's good for my title bar area. It's within 2 inches. And then I just have a little bit of something down at the bottom. But my main background is white because I don't want anything to clash with my logos that I will be placing. And I should I don't think I need to place a line down here. I think that this kind of visually is all right. And I'm going to do a save as while I'm working on this. Week 2, my assignment. Sure, I name it appropriately. There we go. And I'll go back to page 1. And now everything is nice and consistent on all of my pages. So I've got a nice, consistent look. But I do need 2 pages to have a dark background. So what I think I'm going to do, because I don't want to just put like a block, I don't think it's going to look that great. So what I think I'm going to do is I am going to right click and I am going to, I want to duplicate master spread A as master spread B. I'm going to double click and I'm going to add a 50% gray background behind everything here. So I'm just going to change it to black and then change the tint to 50% and send that box to the back. And my gradient, I'm going to change the white on this to 50% black as well. Ugh, I hate it doesn't give you that option anymore. Oh, come on. Oh, I don't like what they've done with the gradient tool. The only way to do this is, which is really stupid, is I gotta make this swatch, I need to add it to the swatches, which is really dumb. Used to be able to double click and you could change. There we go. All right. So there is my master B. Although I might change, honestly, I might change this. To white. I'm still going to gradient it down to the blue though. I'll just pull it up a little, pull that gradient up a little. Just so the wave stands out a little bit more. All right, and so I need that to be on the pages that will have the color the color logo with the dark background and the black and white logo with the dark background. So that'll be pages 9 and 10. So let's see. Let's go back to page 1. So page 1. Page 9, I'm going to apply my B master by dragging it on top, and I'm going to drag it on top of page 10 as well. 9 and 10 have the B master, and the rest of them have the A master. All right. So that kind of takes care of my setup. All right, next what I need to do is I need to start placing these logos. So page 1 is my original logo clearly marked before or existing logo. So I'm gonna find that in week 1. That's where I had that originally. Main logo. You have a nice vector version. I kind of have an online crappy version, which is fine. And again, I need to be setting things up on a, you know, aligned to a grid. So you need to think up, you know, your grid of your InDesign document, basically. So so start to think, you know, before you just start placing things willy-nilly, you definitely, you know, want to think through the grid. I am going to align this to the center of the page. So I like to do things with rectangles and just grab both items and go to align and center it. And do the same thing here. Center it vertically. Whoops. And I'm going to move it up just a little because I'm going to put existing logo underneath. I'm going to use the same exact font. Centered. Extra light. 16 point. And I'm going to call this existing logo. Oh, that's the wrong font. Source Sans Pro. Extra light. There we go. I was going to say, that looks really weird. So that is my page 1. Original logo. Put an X there and get that done. All right, so page 2 is my color requests and keywords. So going down to page 2, I want to keep a consistent font. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a character style of this font because I want to be consistent throughout. So I'm going to go to character styles. I'm going to create a new style. I'm going to double click and I'm just going to name it my font, Source Sans Pro Extra Light 16, so I know what it is when I see it. And I'll make a copy, that text box. If you hold down Option and drag, you can make a copy. And I'm going to adhere to my margins. And I'm going to start this at 2.75. And I need to put, whoops, my color requests. So, and I'm just going to put in, these are my color requests because I don't actually have it. You guys have color requests. Yada, yada, yada. And then I need to do, whoops, keywords. And these are my keywords. And you know, I'll borrow color requests and keywords from one of the other options that was given. I'll borrow from, not that one. It's a sunny. I'll borrow from this one because nobody used this one. So, color requests. And my keywords. Where are my bullets? They used to be over here. Utilities. No, I feel like it's under. They did change a couple, or I'm in the wrong. Nope. Oh, here we go. Bullets and numbering. All right, so you can kind of change your options. And I'm going to make color requests a little bit bolder. And keywords bold. It's my eyedropper tool. Oh, they changed that up too. Oh, there we go. All right. I say, it used to be you could eyedrop. There we go. A font, and it would change it to the same font. I'm like, don't tell me they got rid of that. That was actually kind of cool. And I'm going to change this font color. Just kind of go with my color scheme. Maybe I'll change the whole thing and make it that dark blue. All right, so here's page 2. And you know, I can even add in, you know, some color bars or something here just to show my color scheme, I guess, if I wanted. You know, design it a little bit if you want. All right, page 3. Logo in black and white. All right, so I'm gonna place, so I'm gonna go to week 2. This is where I saved all of those logos, so I gotta find those. Week 2, I've got black and white. There we go. And this is something that bothers me. It places the image, it never used to do this, it places the image based on the size of the artboard now, and that's like super annoying to me. So I'm gonna go in and I'm going to fix those artboards because it's really difficult to place things consistently the correct size if you know it's placing it based on the artboard. It used to just place it based on, like, it used to make a bounding box based on the image and it could figure that out. And this is kind of a new thing it's been doing in the last few versions, and I find it highly annoying. So let me open all of these up. All right. File. And set up, edit artboard. Oh, this one's running a little bit out. All right. Save that. Save that. Save that one. Save that one. And save that one. All right, so that'll make my life a little bit easier when I go to place these. All right, so placing the black and white one first. There we go. All right. So you can see how the bounding box is now right to the edges. And I'm gonna center this vertically as well as horizontally. I changed this typography, but I need to change that back. There we go. And I'm going to copy this. I'm going to go into page 2, and I'm going to do an edit, paste, and place. No. Copy. Paste and place. There we go. And I'm going to just swap out the logos. So next I need logo in grayscale. Then I need logo in CMYK with the swatches. So CMYK. And I gotta place those swatches. I'm gonna place these both like this. These a little bit smaller. Be centered. Oh yeah, all right. And then I'll do the same thing with the RGB one. So I'm gonna copy this, go down to my next page, paste in place. And I'm gonna swap things out. Do RGB. And RGB color blocks. And then last I need, so I've got CMYK, RGB. Then I need to do a black and white logo shown at the following sizes: 1 inch, 3 inch, and 6 inches. All right. Black and white. So I'm monitoring the, up in the taskbar, the width and height right here, and when I hit 1 inch, or maybe they mean width, because there's no way I can get to 6 inches. They must mean width. All right, so 1 inch wide. That's gonna be small, small, small. That seems weird. That seems extremely small. 1 inch. 3 inches. And 6 inches. Yeah, maybe that is what they mean. 1 inch, 3 inches, and 6 inches. So I'm gonna leave these left aligned, but I want to make sure that they're vertically distributed better. Whoops.
If your logo is square, do they mean 1 inch by 1 inch?
Yes, that would be 1 inch by 1 inch. Yeah. That's why I was trying to figure out if they meant 1 inch high or 1 inch wide. And I'm thinking, like, I can't get my logo on this page 6 inches high because it's going to be running off the page. So it must be the width that you're going off of, is 1 inch the width. So I'm going to make it
square. Like 6 inch by 6 inch square.
Well, then it doesn't matter. If yours is a square, it doesn't matter if you do 1 inch wide or 1 inch high. It's the same thing. But if some people have a rectangular logo, it's going to be 1 inch wide.
Okay.
So I don't know why my align isn't working correctly. Manually do this. Yeah, why are you? No. No. Nope. Nope. Ugh. No. Ugh. That's why I use rectangles for everything. Sometimes things just don't work. Oh, good Lord. All right, that's good enough. And I'm going to label this. You should be labeling things too. So I'll go back to label, but it should definitely be labeled. And then what? All right, so that's this. And then I need to do the same exact thing with the color logo. So again, I'm going to actually group these ones, and I'm going to center it vertically on the page before I copy it. And I'll copy this, go to the next page, paste in place. And I'm just going to swap it out with the color version. There we go. And black and white logo shown on a dark background. So I want it to be the original size when I show it on the different background. So I'm going to copy from page 2, I think it was. Go down. There we go. So you can see that works on a 50% gray background. And then color logo on a dark background. So I will grab this one, which is my CMYK version, and paste in place. And that worked. I mean, it's starting to get it. This isn't the best, but you can still definitely see it. All right, so I would need to then go and label each of these pages. And take up my gray bar that I use to measure everything. And I'm not really, clearly I didn't do much with this. So I would redesign that a little bit better. So somewhere down, you know, down at the bottom, I'm just gonna put a text box. And I'm gonna say black and white logo. I'll copy this whole text box, copy, paste in place. This is my grayscale logo. Get rid of that box that I was using. Paste in place. This is my CMYK logo and color blocks. Copy this. Delete. Paste in place. This is my RGB logo and color blocks. This is my 1-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch black and white logo. Or I might even just label each logo. CMYK logo set with the sizes. This is my black and white logo on dark background. That. And my CMYK logo on a dark background. And save. And then I'll just export a PDF. And I am not going to do it with marks and bleeds. I'm going to do it cropped because you don't need to show me the marks and bleeds, and I want it to look nice and cut when I make the PDF. And I'll look over my PDF before I submit it. So here's the original logo, my color requests and keywords, my black and white logo, my grayscale logo, my CMYK logo and color blocks, my RGB logo and color blocks, my 1-inch, 3-inch, and 6-inch black and white logo, my 1-inch, 3-inch, 6-inch CMYK logo, my black and white logo on a dark background, and my CMYK logo on a dark background. And I will submit that. So as you can see, you know, it's mostly, this assignment is mostly about being organized. So as long as you are organized and you have your little checklist that you're going off of, you should be okay. Just make sure that you are organized. I'm going to leave this up so I can put that in a, whatchamacallit, in an announcement for you guys. All right, so that's how we do the assignment. All right, so we only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more logos to critique. So do you want to do a critique with me?
Sure.
All right.
Question.
Yeah.
2. 1. When you were changing your logo from the RGB to the CMYK, where it seemed like you clicked and just went for it, you have to. Are you just double clicking on the picture to change the logo?
You mean in Illustrator when I did it?
When you did it in InDesign.
Oh, yes, yes. All right. So what I did is I selected the image box in InDesign, and then hold on, I'll show you real quick. I selected the image box, and I did a Command D, which is place, or you can go File Place. And then I just swapped it out. So
Okay.
I went and navigated over to the RGB one and swapped it out.
Okay. I'm gonna have to work on that one. Doesn't seem too hard, but I will get that one figured. And then you just said just make sure everything's stylized and
Yeah. Just make sure everything looks nice and professional. It should look like you would want it to look if you were bringing this to a client and hoping they are going to pay you. That's what it should look like when it comes to me.
right. Gotcha.
All right. All right. So let's go over into number 15. All right, here we go. So we have another Metropolitan Art Gallery. I like the line of this. I want art gallery to be closer, but I like how the P is breaking the line on this one.
I wonder if the art gallery on this would look nice on the second part of the line, like underneath.
Like both over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you there. I think that would look nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's go. All right, I like where this one is going, because I like the break in this font. It's very modern.
I actually have that font, I think.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if this font goes with it though.
I don't think so.
It's like you want something that's not really stylized to go with it, but I just don't know if this is the exact choice I would go with. So I think I would keep working with this secondary font, but I kind of like where this is going. Yeah, so we're gonna kind of have to zoom through these because we're gonna run out of time tonight. This one I liked. It reminded me of like stained glass.
I'll say that one looks like it's going into the right direction.
Yeah.
That font for Metropolitan Art Gallery looks like it'll go with the last picture.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think, yeah, like if they used this font or something, even like let's say that you use this font but you like distorted the font, so you got rid of this line right here and maybe this part right here, and maybe you got rid of like part of like right here or something of the A and turned it into the, I think that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because I like where this is going. And then we have this one. I think compared to the other two, this one feels kind of plain to me.
Yeah.
And then I like where this is going. This just needs to be pushed.
I think, well, I like the font.
I like the font. I think it's a good font choice. It's just this is too small.
And that seems to be, once again, like yesterday, it just seemed like they're trying to make the whole thing centered instead of trying to like center like the A.
Right. Like visually centering it. Yeah. But I think that if there was like, if you kept working with this, I think that'd be kind of cool. What if you lost, if you distorted the font and you lost the lines on the inside and you put like this on the inside? That could be kind of cool.
I also think it would work if the inside circle was white and then you just play around with the, because I wonder what that would look like.
Yeah.
If you turn the inside black circle white, kept the letters as they are, and see what happens if it kind of blends itself in.
Okay. Then we have this. I know what I like about this one. It reminds me kind of like of a subway.
I was thinking that too.
Yeah, I like that. Very, very city, very like kind of New York City. Like I think that this one works really well. Honestly, I really like this one. Um, it's very clean. It's very simple. I really like this one. I'm a fan.
I like that one too.
Yeah, and then I like where this one is going. But I think you need to move the G for gallery over because it looks like Gart.
Yeah.
But I like where it's going. What if you move gallery up here and you kept the R going the wrong way? That'd be kind of weird, but I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I think this is going in the right direction.
Yeah, I think it's going in the right direction too. I like kind of the typewriter font, like the distressed typewriter font. I like that. Then we have this one with the ink blotches from the original.
That looked like one of the ones from yesterday.
Yeah. I don't like the width of this font. Like I want this I don't know if it's distorted, but it feels pulled.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then I like where this one is going, but this little part right here that's overlapped is distracting. So I think you need to like really overlap it or shrink the M.
Yeah. That one with the splots, the last one, I wonder if that MAG can actually come in more.
Yeah, I think so. I think it can. In moving the splotches together. I think it can. Again, this one's on good direction. All right, so then this one is a more refined version of the I'm calling it the stained glass because it kind of feels like stained glass to me.
Yeah.
Which I like. And then this one got picked. I really like this one. It's so simple, but simple logos really work.
Right.
So I really do like that one. And then this one I like as well, but again, I think the M needs to be fixed.
Yeah.
So overall, I think 3 good choices were picked.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, so we've got some sketches here. So
That's interesting.
I like what's going on here. The M becomes the A, and then the G intersects, and it looks like you've got the pie square. Know what it reminds me of is Trivial Pursuit, where you put the pies in when you get the pie answers correctly, you fill them all in. I like that. Metropolitan Gallery and then art running through it. I think the T can be a little bit weird. I don't know.
By itself, yeah.
Yeah. And then we've got the MAG. I'm not exactly sure what these are supposed to be, but that's okay because these are sketches. Then we have the M goes into the A, goes into the G.
That is weird.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. And then the M, the A, it almost looks like an easel being put together. Art gallery with a paint swoosh underneath. And then we have Metropolitan Art Gallery. So the letters are becoming kind of buildings. So that's kind of cool. And then another play on the MAG. And then making the easel almost. And then I like this one too. So let's see. So this one was picked. I like this. This ended up coming out really cool right here.
Yeah.
Like that ended up being cool. And then this one is really cool, but the M feels like it's just hanging out a little bit. And I think if you move the M closer, which means you will need to move the G closer, I think that this is a really strong contender too. But my favorite, I think, has to be this one.
When if you bought the third one, if you take that line from the G and you put it all the way through the A.
Like to the M to connect it?
Yeah, and put it through the M. So like a straight line through all three.
Maybe, but I kind of like I kind of like the one direction of it. I do. I just feel like it needs to, you just got to incorporate that M a little bit better. Like even if the M overlaps the A to connect it, and then you move this a smidge closer right here to become the G, instead of extending that so it becomes like this.
They're going to have to fix the G too because the circle isn't connected. Like the top part, like goes past the bottom point.
Right here? Oh, yeah. But I think that there's like really like 3 strong choices here. Like I would have a hard time saying like I really, really like this one too.
I like the first one.
Yeah, I think 3 really strong contenders there.
Because the first one really does look like art.
Yeah, it does, exactly. Then we have MAG. Again, I'm not sold on this font right here. It's kind of like, I know it's supposed to look kind of like brushy, but it's kind of like, it reminds me of that chalk font. And I don't think that's good for like an art gallery, you know?
Right.
And then the same with this. This is, I think the font's just a little bit too kiddie.
Right. But it's a good premise.
Yeah, but I really like I like the circle work. So I feel like this is beautiful, like this line work here. So I want to see something very, almost like maybe even like a Futura font in all caps would work, you know, with just nice, because Futura has such a nice line to it. I think that could work.
Right.
With just the M in like a bolder Futura font. I think that might be beautiful. And then
gallery on the bottom.
Yeah, and then the same thing with this font. I'm just not a fan of this font. I don't think
I like the little...
These?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that too. Again, I think a different font choice, and this could start to really come together and work. And then this, again, I'm just not a fan of this font choice, but I like where it's kind of going with the swatches, and then this one I'm not really a fan of. I don't like brush script. It never connects correctly. See how it doesn't connect?
Right.
So I think there's so many well-drawn script fonts out there. I would just look for a better script font. I think a script font definitely works here, just not this one in particular. This I really like. The MAG, this is nice. Like, I really like this one.
What would happen if you move those closer together?
I would probably move them a little bit closer together too, and I think I would lose the drop cap here. And I would probably keep Metropolitan Art Gallery right to the edges of the circles, and I would lose this. You don't need this brush here, because this on its own right here is beautiful.
Right.
So I really like that.
I don't like the fact that it's like off, like it's not centered.
Right.
One is in its own little different area.
Yeah, and none of them are the same. I really like that. Like this right here, I don't even think you would even need Metropolitan Art Gallery. I think this right here, and moving them up just a smidge closer, and this would be beautiful for a logo. And then I feel like after those ones, it's like I really just want to see, and that one wasn't even picked for the final 3. This is I think that this is the strongest contender out of all of them.
Yeah.
Hands down. I would go right with this one. All right. And nothing else will be said. I've made my decision. Then we have Breakup Day Bagel Cafe. So this is a sketch. So I think that it needs to be at more
rounder.
Yeah, because it's getting a little too close to the edges. I like where this one's starting to go.
Yeah.
Then we have with the coffee cup. kind of like where that's starting to go, and like a mountain. And then we have a mountain in the background. I like how Break of Day is breaking the mountain. I like that. And actually, I really like what's happening with the G and the K right here.
Yeah.
And then this one's simple, but I like it. Good font choice. And then this one, starting to, I like this. And then,
I like that.
yeah, like the coffee cup. I like that. Coffee cup again, different font choice. And last one, Break of Day Bagel Cafe. So I would like this to be a bagel instead of the letter O.
That L, I don't know. It's like the other part's missing and it just looks weird because it looks like it's just a bag.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so here is a refined one. So I like the simplicity of the coffee cup. I think I would move the B over and not have it go into the coffee cup. But I like where this is going. Then this one's simple, but it's really, I think this is really well done.
Yeah.
For font choices and proximity, and I think that this is a good contender. And then Break of Day, Bagel Cafe. I think honestly, I really like this one.
I do too, because you can even do something like if you wanted to like put in the coffee cup.
Yeah, like it could work with or without the coffee cup.
Right.
So yeah, I really like that one. All right, and then Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy.
I don't know. That just looks plain.
It is kind of plain. It's when we think of how they want rock and roll and possibly neon. This font feels like a law office to me.
Yeah.
So I think it's the font choice. Then we have same font. And I'm not sure if this is supposed to be something. But again, it almost feels like a law office to me, which they are probably the exact opposite of. Then I like where this is going, with the H going into the C.
Yeah.
I like that. This with the guitars. Again, though, it's too complex. There's a lot of great line work here. It's just really, really complex. And when we start to scale that down, you're going to start to lose all of this.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of this font. This doesn't scream rock and roll to me.
I've seen this font before. Where did I see it on? But it's like real bubbly.
Yeah.
Kind of kitty.
Yeah. And then we have the star. I like the idea of the star, but I think Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy almost needs to break the plane of the star.
Yeah.
And I like that it's kind of like laying down on the ground, so it's like I want to see like Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy, like just breaking the plane of that star. This one I like.
That one is interesting. I don't know if it will fit the store, but it does look nice.
Yeah, I really like this one. And then we have Hale and Carter's Guitar Academy. Again, you want to be careful, though, with borders because they can start to get really wonky when you are scaling things. So you want to stay away from borders. That I will say. And then we've got this one, which is kind of like this, but I think this is the better version.
Yeah.
So these are the refined. Oh, those were the original guitars last time. Okay. So the ampersand's been added, and I don't even know if the ampersand needed it. I kind of liked how the H just went into the C in the original version of this.
I'm still thinking about the music. I'm still thinking about the bass and treble clef from
yesterday
when I was inside.
Yeah, that was a good idea. This one again with the star, but I don't think this is a good font choice. And then this one's better.
I like that.
But I don't think you need the borders on this at all. Just do the gray, and you can make this black and white. It just needs to, think about if you did a black and white version and where it overlaps, this is black and where it overlaps, it becomes white. Like that would look so cool.
Right.
So I think out of the 3 refined, I think this is the strongest, but still my favorite is this one.
Yeah.
I think that this is like a beautifully drawn logo.
I like the lines.
Yeah, I really like the line work. It's just so simple. I really like this. I think that that's probably my favorite. All right, so that is the end of our critique. So with about 20 minutes left to go, I'm going to see if I can get through some of these. Ooh, I'm never going to get through all of these. But I want to get through some of these, my slideshow presentation. So let's see how far I get. And anything I don't finish, I will share the slides in the announcements, and I will share the page breakdown in the announcements too.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about a brand. What is a brand? It is the perceived emotional corporate image as a whole. So the whole, when we think of Apple as a brand, we think of, a sleek design. We think of innovative, new products. We probably think of expensive, especially with that iPhone 10 that just came out, $1,000. Whew. So that's what we perceive emotionally when we think of Apple as a brand. We think of, the corporate image as a whole. The first definition of brand is a name given to a product or service from a specific source. Used in this sense, brand is similar to the current meaning of the word trademark. With the rise of packaged goods in the 19th century, producers put their mark on a widening array of products from cough drops, flour, sugar, beer, to indicate their source, like where it came from. In the late 1880s, for example, as the Coca-Cola company was getting started, there were many different soda producers in every market. Before Coca-Cola could get a customer to reach for a Coke, it needed to be sure the customer could distinguish a Coke from all of the other fizzy caramel-colored beverages out there. In the first sense of the word, then, a brand is simply the non-generic name for a product that tells us the source of the product. So a Coke is a fizzy caramel-colored soda concocted by those folks in Atlanta. That's a Coke. You definitely want to make your brand relevant, so you want to have a vision. All brands have ebbs and flows. It's important for your brand to always understand the dynamics of the marketplace. You want to ask questions. One of the biggest challenges brand managers have is the threat of becoming myopic. They begin to believe that they know exactly what their target consumer wants and what their motivations are. And this is a huge problem, and it happens all the time because customers are fickle. And then you want to innovate. So one of the biggest opportunities for, hold on one second, there we go. No, I want you to close, there we go. Come on, all right, there we go. One of the biggest opportunities for older brands is to create a reason for existing customers and potentially new customers to rediscover the brand or take notice for the first time through innovation. And then number 4, you want to take chances. One of the biggest mistakes any brand manager can make is to say, we would never do that, or that won't work for my brand, because you never know. All right, so without, we can't talk about brand without talking about brand marketing. So you want to develop a simple, coherent brand message. McDonald's has, I'm loving it. Nike has, just do it. Red Lobster has, see food differently. You want to be creative. Your name, your tagline, and logo should not be not just interesting, but resonate with your audience. Get it out there. Consumers should see your brand a lot. Have a website, have social media accounts, have advertising. You want to discover your brand's value proposition. What makes your brand better? Market that. You want to know your competition. You can't beat them if you don't know who they are. So then we have to also talk about, identity. What is identity? And the identity is the visual aspects that form part of the overall brand. So what is identity design then? One of the major roles in the brand or corporate image of a company is its identity. In most cases, identity design is based around the visual devices used within a company, usually assembled within a set of guidelines. These guidelines that make up an identity usually administer how the identity is applied throughout a variety of mediums using approved color palettes, fonts, layouts, measurements, and so forth. These guidelines ensure that the identity of the company is kept coherent, which in turn allows the brand as a whole to be recognizable. So the identity or image of a company is made up of many visual devices. You have your logo, which is the symbol of the entire identity and brand. You might have stationery. You might have marketing collateral, products and packaging, apparel design, signage, messages and actions, other communications such as audio, anything visual that represents your business. All of these things make up an identity, and they should support the brand as a whole. The logo, however, is the corporate identity and brand all wrapped up into one identifiable mark. This mark is the avatar and symbol of the business as a whole. So that's why it needs to be, it can't be too complex. So then we get into, what's a logo? We've been doing this for the last 2 weeks, but what's a logo? A logo identifies a business in its simplest form via the use of a mark or an icon. So to understand what a logo is, we must first understand what it is for. A logo is for pretty much identification. A logo identifies a company or product via the use of a mark, flag, symbol, or signature. A logo does not sell the company directly, nor really does it describe a business. Logos derive their meaning from the quality of the things it symbolizes, not the other way around. Logos are there for identity or to identify, not to explain. So in a nutshell, what a logo means is more important than what it looks like. So to illustrate this concept, think of logos like people. We prefer to be called by our names, James, Dorothy, John, rather than by the confusing and forgettable description of ourselves, such as the guy who always wears pink and has blonde hair. In the same way, a logo should not literally describe what the business does, but rather identify the business in a way that is recognizable and memorable. It is also important to note that only after a logo becomes familiar does it function the way it is intended to, much alike how we must each learn other people's names to identify them. The logo identifies a business or product in its simplest form. So what makes a logo great? It should be simple. It should be memorable. It should be enduring. So it shouldn't feel dated and it shouldn't feel stylized. It should be versatile, so it should work for print, web, and TV, and it should be appropriate for its intended purpose. And as somebody said yesterday, it should work when it's embroidered on the pocket of a golf shirt. So a logo is not your brand, nor is it your identity. Logo design, identity design, and branding all have different roles that together form a perceived image for a business or a product. All right, so we're doing a lot of color this week. So let's get into what the psychology of color is. And this is probably a good reminder, even if you've taken color theory classes, it's good to remember what different colors symbolize. So according to research compiled by web design and marketing company WebPage FX, people make a subconscious judgment about a product in less than 90 seconds of viewing. And a majority of these people base that assessment on color alone. In fact, almost 85% of consumers cite color as the primary reason they buy a particular product. And 80% of people believe color increases brand recognition. So, red. What does red stand for? If we think of personality and emotions, it evokes a strong emotion. It encourages appetite. It increases passion and intensity. And red roses always symbolize love. In politics, it represents socialist parties or communists worldwide, but in the US, we use it for the Republican Party. For marketing, it increases heart rate. It's used by restaurants to stimulate appetite. It creates urgency, often seen in clearance items, and it's used for impulse shoppers. And then it even has a chakra, which is the root chakra. So some red logos are, you know, you've got your McDonald's, your Target, your Kmart, Netflix, Kellogg's, even though that's the old Netflix logo, Frito-Lay, Nabisco, H&M, Toyota. So red logos can really kind of run the gamut. Then we have your yellow. Personality and emotions. It increases cheerfulness and warmth. It causes fatigue and straining on the eyes if you've ever tried to read yellow text on a white background. It's known to make babies cry, which is the main reason why we painted the yellow walls in my daughter's bedroom. We painted them purple because, hey, when I found out it made babies cry, that's definitely not something that you want in your baby's bedroom then. It stimulates the mental processes and nervous system and encourages communication. It represents liberalism in politics. In marketing, it represents optimism and youthfulness. It's used to grab attention of window shoppers, like those sale signs that you see, you know, bright yellow with red text on top. It shows clarity. And then is the solar plexus chakra. So some yellow logos. We've got the McDonald's arches, Shell, RIP, the AOL, AIM Instant Messenger guy. Best Buy uses logo, Sprint uses logo, a lot, yellow, uses logo, yeah, uses yellow. You'll notice almost everything except for the yellow arches of the McDonald's has another color to go along with it. Then we have blue. So associated with water and peace, it's the color most preferred by men. It represents calmness and serenity. It's been known to curb appetites. It's known as a cold color. It increases productivity, and so therefore it seems to be used in office settings. If you've ever worked in a cubicle, chances are it's kind of a bluish gray color for a reason. Worldwide, it represents the conservative parties, but in the US, we use it for Democrats. It's often used in corporate business because it's thought to be productive and non-invasive, and it creates a sense of security and trust in a brand, and it is the throat chakra. So we've got some blue logos. We have your Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn. A lot of the social media icons are blue, have a blue logo, which I find very interesting. Walmart, this is the old Walmart logo, I believe. I think this is the old one. Dell, but a lot of your insurance logos are blue because of that stability and that trust. And my last slide. So we got through and tackled everything in our very long agenda for today. So on that note, I think we are good. Did you have any questions before we leave for today?
I don't think I have any. I'm gonna have to do the playback to look at some of the stuff for the assignment.
Yep.
So that I'm doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
See what that RGB and YK conversion.
Yep.
Because I still got a lot of thinking to do with which of my 3 logos I really want to go ahead and do, since all 3 of them seem to be okay to use.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? And sometimes you just gotta go with your gut and be like, I really like this one. Or, you know, if you're having trouble, which one's going to work the best in that situation of a colored logo on a dark background?
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, that might help you make that decision.
Because I was looking at the coffee bean one, but I was like, if you make the coffee bean just brown, then on a dark background, I don't know if that would actually play like it needs to.
Right.
So I'm going to look at all of them again and get them together, because I may have to recreate them because I think I lost the AI file.
If you still have your PDF, you can open up that PDF in Illustrator and you should have all of your line work there.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it retains the vector.
Right. I have the PDF. but I just found that really, really weird that the AI file seems to be missing.
Yeah. If you can't, just open up that PDF in Illustrator and you should be able to work from that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a little tip. All right. Well, if anybody has any questions whatsoever, please make sure that you are emailing me. I'm going to post an announcement with the pages for the assignment, and I hope to see everybody next week. I can't wait to see your final work.
All right.
All right. Have a good night.
Good night.
Bye.